Okay. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Let me know if you can hear me. If you are out there, I would love to see you type in that you're out there. Tell me your name. Tell me where you're from. Let me know that somebody in the universe is watching us here at 10 Minute Trades. Give me a heads up. First time we've ever done a live stream, and I'm here for fun, for a little bit of education, but it's a big experiment. It's the first of a first, and you always got to start somewhere. I know, of course, that I don't have a stream deck. I don't have all the right tools at the moment, but like I said, we start somewhere and you grow from there. I remember the first time I ever was in the trade room. It was a week after I found 10 minute trades, and they were called Joe Brackett Breakout. Back in the day, it was more than 7 years ago. And actually, let me just tell you who I am. My name is Lee Goldstein, and I am the trading director at 10 Minute Trades. Nice to see you, John. And I am the guy you deal with 9 times out of 10 when you sign up, when you leave, when you have a problem, when you need help. We're a boutique, small little company, and we have about 5 or 6 team members working behind the scenes, and then I work in front of the scenes. I'm the scene manager, so to speak, but my name is Lee Goldstein, and I'm very happy to be here. When I first started at 10 Minute Trades, it was pretty crazy. They didn't have a trade room. They didn't show charts. All we had were the HIRA reports. We didn't have DMMs. A DMM is a daily market mover. That's our daily trade report. We send them to our members the day before a trade so that they could find a way to set up their trades. But before, in the old days, we had something called the HIRA. And let me see if I can actually show one of these. I think that everything I show, you should be able to see if I keep it off to the side. Yep, that's what I got to do. Keep it off to the side. So the HIRA was a report that told everyone how to trade. We had no targets. It didn't have nearly the amount of data that we have now, but we're here today for a little bit of fun, a little bit of education, because I think that we have something really, really great that we don't even know how great it is yet. I'm very, very excited about the magnet trade. It's a setup, it's a strategy that we wrote, and we just released it about 6 weeks ago. And I think it changes the way you could trade news. If you don't like trading news at the exact moment of the trade because you have too much slippage, or you're just too worried about getting filled on the wrong side, or you just don't like fast trades, well, the magnet trade is definitely a strategy for you because that's the way it avoids all of those issues. But we're going to get to that. I just wanted to talk a little bit about who we are, who I am. Um, we are a news trading company. We trade events, appointment based trading, ABT is what we call it. And it's a great way to trade fast moving market events using futures. And right now we're using the Ninja Trader platform. I am in the middle of seriously considering a major upgrade to the way we do things, adding another platform, possibly Forex. Um, we're not sure yet, but stay tuned. That stuff is very, very near future. Minimally, I have another update coming for the magnet trade. That's 100%, and that's probably coming. I hope. I hope it'll be done in 3 weeks. That's what I hope. Maybe two. That's my goal. Um, the theme today is I would like to show you. I want you to let me show you how to make money because I've got member after member after member, and they are making money. Obviously, not everybody makes money trading. Most people struggle. Most people join services and quit. and they blame it on slippage, or they blame it on this company doesn't let me trade that way, or they blame it on I can't stand the stress. But the truth is, every trading system is difficult, requires effort. You've got to put the learning time in. Nobody's going to tell you how to do something every single time. If you need everything handed to you on a platter, trading may not be the best thing for you, because what if that person's not around that day and you can't get it handed to you on a platter? You need to know how to do things by yourself. You need to understand why the markets do what they do. You need to understand why you're trading, why you're doing the type of event, what makes the event move, what makes the market move, why does storage reports on oil cause the oil market to move, why does it go up, why does it go down, what are you going to do if it does, if it doesn't. You have to have a plan. You got to have it set up. You got to practice. It's like playing an instrument. Trading is like playing an instrument. It's no different than playing the piano or working on your voice if you're a vocalist. You're not going to all of a sudden just go on stage in front of 1,000 people. No, you have to build up, get a following, get an audience, reach out, right? There's no magic, folks. There is no magic button. I have the Holy Grail. The Magnet Trade is the Holy Grail. That's what I think, but we'll see about that. I want to show you how to make money. I have members that make money. Now, we had a trade this week, and I'm the only guy you've ever spoken with. I am going to respond to the YouTube comments. This is off the cuff, folks. That's the kind of person I am. I'm going to go back and forth. This is the first time I've done this. We'll see how it goes. Jay, I don't know what you mean about I'm the only guy you've ever spoken with. Tell me what you mean. And Darren from Buenos Aires, nice to see you, Darren. So please check in if you just got here. I want to know who's here and how you're doing. I don't want to look back at my laptop because you'll see the bald spot on the back of my head and it just doesn't look that good. So I'm not going to turn around. That's the only way I can see how many people are here. Okay? So let me know that you're here. But I was saying that we have people making money and we don't make it up. All right? I've got a member 10 days ago trading Apex. He made $1,300 that day in the trade room, 1370. And what he said is, I love 10-minute trades, funded 3 Apex accounts with their system. That was 10 days ago. All right. 10 days ago. You can trade prop accounts and you can trade cash accounts and you can trade micros and you can trade futures, like I said, with Ninja Trader. All the prop accounts have rules. You got to make sure you pick the companies that give you the best opportunity for their rules. We, at the moment, are using a company called Buell Knox. We do have members that are trading with Apex. We do have members that are trading with Lilu. And we have members that are telling us about their good fills using Tradevate as their data feed. So that's something to look into. A lot of people are using Rhythmic. Most of the prop accounts use Rhythmic as their data feed, but it is possible to also use Tradevate. So it's nice when there is competition. It keeps all of the data feed companies on their toes. But my point here, one of the main reasons we're here today is I just want to show you that members are making money with us. Okay. Sometimes we don't make money on a trade and our members do. Sometimes our members use the information we've given them over the years or over the last few months even, and they have a successful trade when maybe our setup didn't work that day. And we had a very interesting situation like that this week. We had a retail trade in our trade room, and like I said, we trade the news at the exact moment of the news using futures. And a lot of people say you should never do that, but it's not unsafe if you have the right tools, you have the right software, you understand how to do it. And one of our members traded exactly opposite the way we traded. But I'm happy to say, and I'm proud to say, he's a member that I helped learn how to do this. The whole idea is take what we showed you and turn it into yours. That's the critical part of doing anything and becoming great at it. Don't just follow someone because sometimes that person is wrong and you could be right. Follow yourself. Ultimately, you're going to do better. Another day in our trade room, one of our members just qualified my third account for funding with this NQ trade. Now, that might have been our same Arthur, so I might be taking credit for the same funding there, but I'll still take that credit because it was great. My friend Sander from Switzerland, I want to say thank you, Sander. Loyal member. Thank you, Sander, for being here. And I want to show you an actual screenshot. One of our members had an awesome retail trade this week. This was a big one. Very nice. Over $1,487 trading Apex. When you see a candle that looks like this, it starts down here and it goes all the way up there. That's a profit because you're getting into the market when it's low. And what do they tell you? Buy low, sell high, right? Buy low, sell high. That's what we want to help people do sometimes, right? Another trading yesterday. We have a secret trade that I'm not going to tell you what it is because you got to be a member, but every single person in the trade room who traded it with us yesterday with real money or in their prop account made money. And if you look, here's the candle. It started here, and that's where we got into the market, and we got out up here. So when it's 40.17 and it gets out at 40.37, that's 20 ticks away. Each tick is a profit. So the idea is, I'm not going to say buy low and sell high because that's, old stuff. But we're teaching people how to trade the news reports that give us the best opportunity for a profit. That's what we're teaching people to do. Over and over in our room, over and over, we have members that are sending us screenshots. This also was yesterday. Our secret trade, that arrow, they got into the market right around 30 and they got out very close to 50. Okay. Actually, looking at the screenshot, they got in at 23, out at 45. That's a very nice profit. The idea, and I actually have the video of that trade. So let's take a look at a real trade that we took in our trade room yesterday. Let me just find it. All I have to do is find everything today. That's going to be the hard part. I have so many screens open. So let's see if I could find it easily. If I can't find it quickly, I'll show you a different trade because what's the truth? A breakout is a breakout is a breakout. Every trade that you take, every trade, or I should say, let's say 90% of every trade is a breakout. That means you have a level on a chart, right? You have a level on a chart, like here's a level, and then it breaks out above that level. It explodes above the point you're at, and it brings you into the market. So let me find this NOPA trade because I want to show it to you. So just give me half a second. I just have too many screens open. That's my problem. And I can't believe there it is. Finally. Okay, something goes right. When something goes wrong, something goes right. Here we go. All right. We were trading soybean oil. Have you ever traded soybean oil? Well, what we do is it doesn't matter if you're trading soybean oil, motor oil, canola oil. We don't care what we're trading. As long as it's a future and as long as it moves from the news, then we have an opportunity to make money on the trade. So here's what I mean about trading a breakout. And almost every event is a breakout. Well, we have software, and our software puts our orders on the chart. All right? Not that complicated. Those X's are our orders. When the news comes out, that's the price of soybean oil. When that news comes out, it's a soybean oil report. So, yeah, soybean oil is going to change price because there's news coming out. Watch what happens. It's going to take a few seconds because we know we've studied this report. Be patient. It's going to take a few seconds. We told our members in the room, be patient. It might take 15 or 20 seconds. It's 15 seconds. Now, unfortunately, sometimes it takes 30 seconds. We're not going anywhere. We got time. This is real trading. This is what happens in a real trade. Sometimes you're sitting there, you feel naked, you feel like you're in trouble, but then all of a sudden, the market moves, you get pulled in, everything looks like it's going your way, it hits your first target. Watch. When it hits your first target, you can bring yourself to safety so you can't have a losing trade. And then the price goes up a little further. It's going to test this green line, which is the high of the day. And we're going to actually talk about that a little bit more because that's a magnet. Bingo. A very successful winning trade live in our trade room yesterday. Not a single person lost money on that trade. I'm here today because my goal is to teach you how to do it. If you allow me, I can teach you how to do it. And that's what we do at 10-minute trades. We teach our members when not to trade also. Sometimes the market works against us and the report moves the market in a way that isn't a good move to make money on. So let me show you what I mean. So we had a trade today, and actually we made money on it because we traded what we call a trap trade, which is a reversal. But if you look at the way the market moved at the time of the news, and these are the things that we teach. How did the market move at the time of the news? So what's going to happen is our software is going to put orders on the chart. But what's important here is this blue little line, or it's called a candle, okay? And we're watching the behavior of that candle. If it bursts and explodes in one direction only, then that's a very good thing. But you notice it burst down and changed direction very fast. That's a bad thing for most breakout type trades. We studied this report. We recommended trade the reversal. When the price went down, instead of going short to the downside, we went the opposite direction. The market immediately reversed, and we made money, making money on that reversal. And again, that's what we teach at 10-minute trades. We're teaching our members how to do these trades so that, first of all, you don't want to be afraid. It can be scary if you're in a trade and you're waiting for a reversal and the market hasn't reversed as quickly as you wanted it to. That's a very scary thought, very scary experience. You're in the market. You might be losing money. But we study these events. Our probabilities is what keeps us going. We know there's a great probability that the market is going to reverse. That particular trade, it reversed rather quickly, and the idea was to get out of it quickly, and that's what we did. And we only made $100 on that trade. Sometimes you make 100, you make 50. The key is make something so that you're always ready for the next one and you're always ready to try and turn it into a bigger and bigger winner. Now, I got to show you just a couple of big ones because that's the goal here. We've got coming up next week, 2 weeks actually, not next week, the week after, NVIDIA. Last quarter, and everybody talks about NVIDIA all over the financial channels, all over everything. I know you're only able to see the left side of the screen. $1,500 profit last NVIDIA trade. The market exploded to the upside on their earnings, but you can really see it in the trade candle right here. Remember, get in down here. Actually, we got in right there. Sell somewhere up in here. That's the idea with NVIDIA. We devised a methodology to trade selected stock earnings with futures and the NinjaTrader platform. So we have earnings trades, selected great earnings trades. Apple, Amazon, NVIDIA, Walmart. Oh, Walmart. Walmart was yesterday. I made a mistake. I thought it wasn't going to move. And I told everybody, don't come into the trade room. But I'm kind of a lunatic. I traded it anyway because it's my job to check and see, did it work? Because maybe we'll want to trade it next quarter. So Walmart has their earnings at 7 in the morning. I got up early. We have a special type of what we call a range trade. That's what a range trade is. It puts a range on the chart and then it breaks out of the range. So remember what I said. Almost every trade is a breakout trade. You might create a range to trade it. You might look at zones to trade it. You might be looking at Fibonacci's and you want to be above the fibs or below the fibs to enter. But almost every trade is really a simple breakout trade. So trading is not complicated. If you understand, it's really very simple. You're just breaking out of a level up or down. So we create a range trade for Walmart. I figured their earnings were going to be lousy. I figured a short. I didn't trade it that way. I let the market take me in. Although with the magnet trade, that's something different. You can trade directionally, and I will get into that before we leave here today. Walmart, 7 o'clock earnings. You could see that we're creating a range on the chart. I was trading this in my prop account, Buellnox, which is nicely profitable. It's not funded yet, but I'm about halfway there right now after just about 5 days of trading in that account. Walmart comes out with their earnings. They're going to be 40 seconds late. And that's one of the reasons why I was telling our members we probably should avoid Walmart. They're not reliable when they release their earnings. The key to the best earnings trades, the secret is you got to find the companies that release their earnings almost the same time every quarter. If they release their earnings at the same time, then you can set up a trade based around time. And for us, because that's very much the way that we trade most of our trades, here come the earnings. A big short hit all my targets in literally 3 seconds, not even, and had a very nice profitable Walmart trade. What was interesting, though, is that if you hung around the financial channels yesterday, you did hear that ultimately Walmart had guidance that was good and the future comments that were good, and the trade really was positive. But interestingly, we made our money on the first move, which was down, and it was a negative move. Then we didn't really care what the market did after that. After those 3 seconds, sometimes we will try and stick around for an after the news event, after the news second trade. But in the case of Walmart, it was 7 in the morning and we had another trade coming up, so I didn't hang around. But another way that we trade multiple setups. Please, before I forget, the disclaimer, Everything I'm discussing is for educational purposes. It is possible to lose money trading futures. My results may not necessarily be yours. Okay? Most people don't succeed at trading because they give up too easily. That's what I believe. We live in a world, we live in a society where if you're not instantly satisfied, you're off to the next event. Trading is not instant satisfaction for most people. There is that miraculous person who does everything perfectly, and they can they touch their prop account and in 2 days they're funded. But let's be real. The average person has to work at everything that they do. I'm the average person. I'm not magic, but I'm a good teacher and I can help you learn how to do this. We have news trades, we have discretionary trades. Discretionary trade means you enter at your own analysis. We have earnings trades with futures. We can trade extreme volatility when the markets are really moving. We have setups that'll work. And we have reversal setups. We have breakouts. We have range trades. A breakout is above the bracket. Think of a breakout where you have a price, like I showed you before. It's very simple. I'll show you with a Caterpillar trade. We traded Caterpillar's earnings. It's another one of those morning trades. Before the event, we sent our members a DMM, a daily market mover. This is a little trade report that showed them how we would consider trading Caterpillar earnings. And then we got to the room and I was going to show you what a bracket is. That's a bracket. You have that orange arrow is the current price. A bracket is an order above and an order below. And then the news pulls you in, and that's how you have a trade. Caterpillar had a great move. Caterpillar, talking like a New Yorker here. And then look at that pullback. You had to have a good setup that could take advantage of that trade before it pulled back, and you gave back all your profit. All right. Couple of quick reasons why I love 10-minute trades. This is not going to be a gigantic sales opportunity. You're going to have an opportunity to join with us, and I know that you should do it because it's inexpensive and it's a fantastic offer. But I love 10-minute trades for these reasons. Quick profits because the trades are fast. I don't have to spend 5 hours in a trade. I don't have to spend 30 minutes in a trade. Release dates of the news that we trade, we know it in advance. We can schedule our trades in advance. We trade on a schedule. Events cause the price action. When news is announced, that's what causes the movement. We know when the news is coming. I love explosive moves. Explosive moves can give you the opportunity of lots of profits. And like I said, you don't have to spend a lot of time in the market. And I love earnings reports. I showed you NVIDIA. You can learn to trade earnings. I would say that we lost money on Apple this earnings season. I think it's one of the only earnings trades this quarter so far that we didn't make money on. There might have been another one, but I'm being truthful when I say I can't remember what it was. We made money on Home Depot. We made money on Caterpillar. We made money on Procter and Gamble. This was Sanders, Home Depot profit screen. He made $215 trading two little contracts. The YM is only $5 a tick. The instrument that he was trading, $5 a tick. He took home over $200 on that trade. It's a great way to make extra money if you have a full-time job. Think of it. You could get your schedule together, come into the trade room on the events that you can trade, the ones that we say these are the really good ones to trade, and trade just those. And that's a very valid way to use us to learn. Okay? Let me see what people are saying online. What size account to make $1,500? So Shady, I traded 3 contracts on that trade. So you have to have I would say $15,000 in that particular market because the brokers raised the margins. If they didn't raise the margins, you could do it with 10 or even a little bit less. Um, didn't that profit run past my target and one target and my target one and two targets? That Nvidia trade had 100 ticks of positive slippage. 100 ticks. Hold on, I'm giving you wrong information. My jobs report trade 2 weeks ago had 100 ticks of positive slippage. The Nvidia trade also had positive slippage. It wasn't quite as much. So what does that mean? A lot of times you hear people say, "Oh man, I'm not trading the news. There's too much slippage. You can't do it. It's not possible." And what they're saying has some validity. Yes, there's slippage. But what people don't realize is there's negative slippage, there's positive slippage, and then there's just the average slippage that takes place on many news trades. So what happens is this. If you have a very big move, let's say you have a move on an earnings report, it's 100 ticks of profit, and there's 40 ticks of slippage. Do you really care if you had 40 ticks of slippage and you still had 60 ticks of profit? No. What if you had a 20 tick target, but the market was a little bit slow getting you out because the move was so fast and it gave you 40 ticks? That's called positive slippage. That happens. Very often, the positive slippage can wash away the bad slippage. So, yes, there's slippage. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. It's really not something that destroys news trading. We've been doing it we're going on our 8th year. So I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have money in our account ever. We would be constantly refilling our account. And that's not the case. So there is different types of slippage. Um, okay, so those were a couple of questions we have on YouTube. I was really hoping we would get a lot of questions today. So please, anything that's on your mind, if you're a member and something's bothering you, ask me and I'll tell you what I can about anything I know that I can do to help. Okay, so look, I'm not going to spend the whole day here. I do want to give everyone an offer to join with us, but I want to talk about the magnet trade because a lot of our members are saying that they're not comfortable using it yet. So I want to show you a couple of things, and I've got to bring my folder over. So first of all, let's talk about a magnet. All right, but I want to do two things first. Let me just show you the screen that I want you to remember for the next couple of days. You're going to join with us because you want me to teach you how to make money. Okay? You get all of our everything that we have: the magnet, the trap trade, the reversals, trading earnings with futures, breakout trades, software, trade room access, the whole kit and caboodle, the magnet, everything. Okay? All these things. Our quick start video, daily market movers, DMMs, we call them, the trade reports, pro trade room access, our software. Okay? I'm not going to make this a big sale. 24 bucks, www.gotrade2024.com. All right? I'm not going through all the questions that we go through on every webinar. It's a 30-day trial. It turns into a full membership, 97 bucks a month after. You can cancel by just sending a simple email to help@10minutetrades.com. Help@10minutetrades.com. I'll tell you a funny story. I tried to cancel my subscription to the Philadelphia Inquirer. I almost had to call my congressman to figure out how to get through to them to cancel the subscription. It was so complicated. Well, we're not trying to get you to charge your subscription when you don't want it. Take the trial, 30 days, $24. Everything that we do, you'll have access to. 24 bucks, just www.gotrade2024.com. Okay? Okay, questions. Hi, Ranjit. Nice to see you. Our daughter has just arrived. Okay, so you'll be coming back this week. very nice to hear, Ranjit. I hope everybody's health is okay over there. So, been looking forward to seeing you. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the magnet trade. Just a couple of reminders, okay? Our members love us. A member made $825 trading Facebook. That was a while ago, if you think about it. It's called Meta now. But this is recent. February was my best month ever with 10-minute trades, made 3,000 plus. Roz from Kenya. And Roz is going through a little bit of a tough time right now. We're working with her to get things better. This is one of my favorite testimonials. Hi, Lee, because I had a couple of bad trades recently, and since I know that you care about the results of your members, I want you to know I think today was my lucky day. I made 644.05 in cash, 212.80 in scalping the mini DAX using the reversal continuation strategy, and 150 bucks on the YM UNH. That's an earnings trade, as well as 281.25 on the retail trade. And that was about 40 days ago, this testimonial. This means I'm done for the day. I'll watch and sim later in the room. It has given me a boost in self-confidence. I just wanted to share this with you. That made my day. I really can't say how great that makes me feel. So thank you for that. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about magnets. This is today's live market. All right. And right now, gold is looking to me like it wants to make a, well, let's make sure I'm in the right place. Right now, it looks like the markets are getting ready to make a new high. So, but I don't know that for sure, but our magnet setup allows you to trade that kind of situation. But we also discovered something else about our magnet trade. It's really great for news, and I'm going to explain that as well. In this particular case, we have just a very simple setup where we put on the strategy, magnet trade. We have a high of day, low of day strategy. We have a proximity, a distance from the high or day low. And I'm going to just put 10% in because I think that's about where I want to be. And I've got a target of 10 ticks and a stop of 20. All right. When I enable a magnet trade, and I've got too many magnet trades on my chart, so let me get rid of one of them. All right, so that one will work. When I enable the magnet trade, and this market is slow because normally gold looks better. I think gold's going to make it. When I enable the magnet trade, I get a button that says magnet, and I can hover over that button and I can see my upfill, my fill above the market, and I could see my bottom fill if I were so interested in trading the low of the day magnet, which I'm not. It's not a factor now because it's too far away. Anyway, my fill would be 78.50, which is a little bit too close to where I am right now. I want it higher. So I'm going to go back into my magnet, and let's make our proximity just 5% closer to the magnet. All right. When I enable that, our fill is 55.81, much more sensible. Okay. And let's do this. I'll throw the MES on. MES or micros. Okay. I have not been watching the markets at all today. So let me just make sure I know what I'm doing. It's not 2025. Hold on. Let me put the right instrument on. So I'll put a live magnet trade on the market, and we'll just let it sit. We'll forget it while we're doing this webinar on that chart. So I'm going to put my software on my Buellnox account. Okay. I could put it on my cash account also. but we'll put it on Buell for now. And just to be real dangerous, I'll trade 2 positions instead of 1 to micro. It's not that expensive per tick per instrument. And I'm just looking for 10. Let's look for 12 ticks, and we'll use a 20 tick stop, and it's on our Buell Knox account. Okay? I hope. I'll put my charts on that account. Right now, it's not going in our favor. All right? And right now, we are up $100 in our Buell Knox account because we made money this morning. The other thing I'm going to do is if I press the magnet button, then we can set it and forget it, and it'll be an automatic trade. Magnet auto. Okay? If I don't do anything, it'll blink when we get to the fill. It'll blink purple, and I can press the button and enter the trade. We're going to do it auto because if it fills by, we're setting it and forgetting it because we want to talk about the magnet on another chart. All right, so let's put the magnet trade on gold also. So you can trade multiple charts, multiple instruments. Now, we don't have to do the high of day, low of day. Now, someone is saying they can't see the chart on YouTube. You should be able to see the chart to the left. So I apologize. My chart on the right is hidden by my big fat face. Okay? There's the chart. If I move my face out of the way, that's the chart. That's the magnet. I could shrink my face down because now we're talking about trading. All right, so let's get serious. Now you should be able to see the chart. Okay, so what I did is I set the magnet up on this side here, but price is not cooperating at the moment. We want a test of the high, so we have to wait. Gold, though, might be heading up. So we have a high of the day, low of day magnet. All right. And I'm going to set up a percent proximity of 10%. We'll check our fills, a target at just 12 ticks, a stop just of 15. Okay, that's all I'm doing. Apply it, okay it. Now, when I enable the magnet, even though it's a different chart, that's okay. 2534 is my magnet. Now, hang on. Let me make sure I did this properly. 2 seconds. If it's too close, it's going to trigger, and that's what's happening. So let's do, I need it further away from our price now. That's our problem. We're too close to the current price. So we're going to do it 5%. You know, sometimes you miss a trade. That's life. Let's see if, okay. And I hadn't set it up exactly correct. 2536 is my fill on top. Here's my magnet fill on top. I think that is a little bit far away, but we're doing this for fun, so we'll leave it. It's not going to get the bottom fill, all right? Let's do it the right way. What do you say? Let's do it the right way. I want the magnet to trigger a little bit closer to the high, okay? So I'm just going to make the percentage distance a little bit closer, 3%. That should solve my problem. I'll also put this, I'll put this on my Buell Knox also. It's micros. I should be able to trade both, I would hope. I'll tell you what, let's leave it. I don't want anything to go wrong. We'll leave it on sim. And our trade is ready. So here's what's going to happen. If the price of gold starts to move towards a test of the high of the day, then it'll blink when we get to 25.37.20. It's just that simple. It'll blink. 25.37.20. and then our orders will be on the chart. Now, we won't see our orders unless we're in Sim, because that's what the software is on, okay? Now, there's a couple of questions I'd want to talk about, possibilities of how you can use this magnet. First of all, what's a magnet, right? It's really hot here, so forgive me. What is a magnet? A magnet is a level on the chart, that lots of people look at, and lots of people look at the same levels. So that level pulls price into it, or it repels price. I like to think of it as it pulls price in. So lots of people are watching that high of the day, okay? Lots of people are watching the high of the day, and ultimately they're putting orders around the high of the day. And that probably is what's creating the magnets. It's all those orders being placed in similar areas that are pulling price. Now, I have to be honest, John is asking questions that are technical for me, in that I don't really know how the programmer wrote the calculations. John, Jay, I'm sorry about that. I don't know the answer. In terms, I mean, it recalculates if a new high or low is set. The magnet will recalculate if you just uncheck it and recheck it, okay? It'll uncheck it and recheck it. But keep in mind that it's not going to be a whole heck of a lot of recalculating at the moment, because we're using the high of day as our magnet. So the only thing that's really calculating is obviously the proximity. But yes, it does recalculate. Okay. But here's the idea. So the most basic and simple magnet trade is just a test of the high or the low, based on, we know that magnets are constantly tested throughout the day. You know what? It's 12:45, right? It's almost 1 o'clock. If you just go through today, and I didn't look at gold that carefully today before I got here, how many magnets have we had today in price? So at 7:20 this morning, earlier, you could say it looks like a magnet took place. You got to go back, 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 really. The magnet really didn't take place. This is not good magnet trading, because it was doing too much testing of the high. I don't want constant testing of the high. I want hours, or an hour or two, where it stops testing it and then it tests it again. All right. This is not a magnet, because it's just making new high after new high after new high. This is not a great magnet trade. It's too close to the previous test. It's getting better as you get further away, but 6:25 to 7:05 in the morning, not a good enough amount of time to be a great magnet. You want more time. I like an hour or more, okay, as a general rule, but also it can depend on how strongly a market is trending, and it can also depend on the time of day. The markets start to get real busy 7:30, and this was a nice sell-off from a lot of highs, right? So think about why this tested the high here. One of the very possible reasons. You had a whole morning and almost an overnight where gold was making new high after new high after new high. So this is a good risk. This is a good risk. It went down, it stopped, candles started going green, the high was right above here. That's worth a shot for a magnet trade. because of what was going on in the market that day. All right. So obviously, traders that are real good at analyzing markets, they always do better with any setup. Someone who knows how to figure out what the trend is always going to do well in a setup that uses trend at times, right? So now I'm just shooting ahead to where we are now. See, now we have great magnet because it hasn't been tested in hours. And gold is bullish as all heck. So I think this is a great opportunity for a magnet trade. It's probably going to work, right? Good possibility. Maybe it'll work while we're here. Remember, our entry is 37.20. It's right here, right there. That's our magnet. That's our entry. The magnet, the important thing, and then it just changes the direction, of course, ruining our whole idea. The thing to remember, important thing about the magnet, what's the magnet and where should your orders be? The magnet is not your target. The magnet, no, let me take that back. The magnet is your target. The magnet is your target. You want to put your orders, your entry, above or below the magnet, depending on the direction of your trade. If you're in a long magnet, like we are this morning, your orders want to be underneath the magnet. The high of the day is the actual magnet. That's what is pulling the price. Okay? So the simple magnet lets you do just what I did. We have a choice in the software called high of day magnet system, high of day, low of day, proximity. This is not complicated. You just put a couple of things in. I put the proximity in. I look for a target. Now, think about the target. If my fill is going to be, what's my fill here? 37.20, right? The magnet is 38.70. So that's 14 ticks away, right? Roughly, exactly. So I would like a 12 tick target. I'd like to get filled just before I hit that magnet. So in the strategy, I had a 12 tick target. That's what I want. Okay. I want to be filled before the magnet is touched. That's my goal. That's what I would prefer. Okay. Everybody understand? I'm not seeing. Let me see if there's some questions here. You can set it anytime you want, walk away and leave it alone. Jay, there's no problem doing that. The magnet, you can just set it and forget it. That's fine too. Where at the extreme low, what time to put the low on to catch a high when it. I assume magnet trades have stop loss. Yeah, Steve, the stop loss, that's up to you. Um, figure if you're trading a gold magnet trade, gold is $10 a tick. What do you want to, what's your risk? What do you want to risk? Are there any really good levels on the chart that you could use for a stop? If not, let's be honest. Stops, look at the ES. The ES, it might do it while we're here. Any trade, you make a decision. What should your stop loss be? There's not a magic number for what the stop loss should be on a particular magnet trade. I on a gold trade, like a discretionary gold trade, I don't like to lose more than $200 if I can avoid it. So I usually use a 15 or 20 tick stop. With micros, I might go as high as 40 ticks on the stop. Okay. But it's not a it's not a big deal. It's very, very discretionary. because the magnet trade is very discretionary. But the simple magnet is just what you're seeing now. It's a test. It's a test of a level. That's all. 8150 is our magnet on this side. 8150 is our entry on this side. Okay, right around there. That's our entry. Let's see what happens. That's actually a live trade using micros. Looks like it's going to fill. Gold, I just had it in sim because it looked like it was triggering too soon. Let me see if there's any other questions. Okay, please, questions are welcome. I want to show you another type of magnet, but I'm willing to wait like 1 minute just in case we get our trigger. I guess we could watch. Let me shrink this down a little bit. Put this over here. We should be able to see both. Okay, so that way we could see both. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk, okay, look, we got our fill on the ES, micro ES. Now, look, folks, honest, this is a slow moving market. It's lunchtime also. It's not the smartest time to take a magnet trade. Now, I want my order below. I want it there. I don't want it above the magnet. I want it below. And like I said, it's lunch, etc. I could move my stop to safety so that no matter what happens, I can't lose money now. So I could risk. I was just going to move my target higher. Folks, that's a magnet trade. Why would you not want to let me show you how to do this for $24 for 30 days? Okay? $24 for 30 days. I love this stuff. I love this stuff. Who has any other questions? Who has any other questions? Look, we've been here an hour. I'm exhausted. I want to talk to you about one other thing. There's another type of magnet trade. What if you don't really care that much about highs and lows? What if you're a fanatical Fibonacci trader? Now, before I forget, honestly, folks, you could have had two positions, and one of them could have been above the high. So you could be still in the trade, trailing for profit. So don't forget, I was just showing you the simplest way to do it. Well, we have another way to trade a magnet trade. Gold could still work here. And the other way to trade a magnet, and I'll use the same, it's the custom magnet. So you just choose custom level. Maybe you're a Fibonacci trader, or maybe you like pivots. I like pivots. I love pivots. Pivots make me laugh. I'm a pivot. Forget it. I don't want to get fired, so I think I'll stop now. I like pivots. We'll leave it at that. But I'm not that crazy about R2. R2 is not my favorite pivot. I like R3. I like PP, the central pivot. But let's say you want to create your own magnet, that you're a Fibonacci trader, right? So our custom magnet allows you to trade any magnet that you want. Any indicator that creates a level, any level that you think is important, you can create a magnet for. So it's totally customizable. Anything can be a magnet. You just put the line on the chart. Here's how it works. Choose custom level. Let's say I believe that 2532 is a magnet. So I'm going to make that my magnet. And right now it's got a 12-tick target. For now, that's fine. When I enable the magnet trade, it puts my magnet on the chart. And maybe the market starts going up and it's getting too far from my magnet. I can move my magnet. When the line is purple, there's no trade. I uncheck it. Now my magnet is higher. I could do another magnet trade on the high. Oh, no, it's not another on gold. That was ES that gave us our magnet. We still have our gold trade waiting, right? It's just now it's not in auto mode. I took it out because I was showing you this other thing. But the custom magnet trade means anything on any chart can be a magnet and you can move the magnet. It's a very, very powerful strategy. So I want to cover one more thing about the magnet that I believe could be a game changer for trading news and events. My head is being squeezed so hard by these headphones that I believe my brain has been squeezed into a smaller, less normal sized brain that now I'm not able. Let me stop. Okay, so we've got the ability to trade news on a magnet. I just can't take everything too seriously, folks. Um, I like making money. I just made $20. Now, I know it's not a lot of money, but it's $20 just showing you how something works. Imagine how well you could do if you practice and really spend some time doing it the right way. Okay. Yes, OptiTrader weekly and monthly levels are great magnets. How do you enter the proximity percent? So just very simple. All you do is just put the proximity in. Make sure that your trade is not enabled. And then on a high of day, low of day, where you have the proximity, just type the level that you want. Now, in future versions of the magnet, we have to come up with a way that will know what that proximity is without going to the chart. I want, look, we didn't think of everything when we first designed this, but there's some great updates that are possible. But let's say you do 5% as your proximity on the high of day, low of day. It's so easy to deal with it. You just enable the trade, hover on the button, and it shows you the entry. If that entry is not the right place, like right there is the magnet, I think we want to be a little closer in this quiet market. I think 25, 37, 40 might be better. So you just experiment a little bit with the proximity, find the right level, or you could use custom level instead of using the high of day magnet. You don't have to use the high of day magnet. You could use the custom level on a high of day, low of day, obviously. All right. But so the calculation, I don't want people to get too worked up about the calculation. If you know me, a lot of you don't know me. I'm not a big math guy. All right. I don't sit in my room looking at, well, 3% of this level, it's going to be 2270.80. I mean, I just told the programmer, look, I want it 20% away from the high of the day. Just give me it. And that's the truth. That's all I know about it. But what he told me is that he's calculating from the low of the day to the high of the day should be 100%. Okay. But what I'm telling you is don't sweat the calculation. It doesn't matter. What matters is where do you think is the right place for that order and the magnet to be? And at least for me, it's looking at the chart that tells me that. It's not now, if you're a numbers guy, a numbers person, then that calculation is going to be more important to you than it is to me. I don't mean to make fun of that. I get that. But I don't want to be held to the fire if the calculation is not perfect, that it's a perfect 100%, because I did not test that aspect of it. What I tested was, does it let me put the magnet where I want? Because I can look at the market and that's going to tell me where I want my magnet. But the programmer is pretty good. I believe it should be an accurate 100%. What do you mean then? How do you make the software work? You just put the proximity in. All I'm saying is it might be 5%. You might just have to look at the level. That's all I'm saying. I mean, if that's a bye-bye for you, bye-bye. I mean, what can I tell you? I don't know. It's not that big a deal. It's not the level, the percentage is not important. The placement of where the magnet is important. You know that you have a small percentage of getting a magnet to work if you're too far away. That's the point of the magnet. It's not the exact percent. I don't know anybody that's going to spend their whole life calculating that percent on every magnet trade. It's just not reasonable. Anyway, let's go to the last thing I was going to show everybody. How about a magnet trade as a news trade instead of a breakout trade? Okay. Here's what you could do if you think about it. This is a whole other way to use the magnet. Let me find the video. I'm just going to show a short little video showing a magnet trade based around news, because it's a great, great way to trade this setup. Let me show you. I just have to find it. It'll take me 1 second. So you have what we saw yesterday on natural gas. It was really, really interesting. Actually, it was even better on oil. We traded it on Wednesday on the oil trade. So what we saw, we had our regular oil trade, right? Our regular oil trade was a breakout. But a lot of people don't want to take the risk on oil, trading oil, or a lot of people don't want the inconsistency that the oil breakout has. It doesn't always have a high probability, right? Sometimes it's going through a bad period. But here we had a situation where right below where the market was, right before the news was coming out, you had a double magnet, S1 and the low of the day. So we set up a magnet trade to trade the news release, and we enabled the auto mode seconds before the news came out, and watch what happened. And this was live in the room. The market's moving. Our orders are going to show up on the chart if we get pushed into the magnet. We got pushed in. It was slower than I thought it would be. There it is. It hit our magnet. 12 ticks. 12 ticks of profit. Now, the breakout happened to work yesterday. Also, that's an extra bonus. But we traded a news magnet trade. It's a very high probability, low stress trade. If there would have been a burst to the upside, we just wouldn't have gotten filled. If there was a whipsaw and it whipped to the upside and burst to the downside, we still could have had a winner. Now, obviously, you could still have a bad trade. It could fill you and not finish moving, right? Like it could stop there, but it didn't. This was a perfect magnet news trade. It was fabulous. And that's a great thing. It's another way that we can trade the markets. Thank you, Shady. Appreciate that. That's another way to trade the markets. So, folks, everybody, let me just bring up one slide, all right? Because I can only take so much. I'm just human, right? I've been working all week. I didn't make my videos yet this week. I don't even think I'm going to make them. Folks, if you think that what I'm showing you has value, if you think that I could teach you something, and I think I can, I don't think I can, I know I can show you 1,000 screenshots of members making money. That's the truth. 1,000, maybe 300. www.gotrade2024.com will give you 30 days, everything. Magnet Schmagnet is yours. Software, JOBB, Trap Trade, Trade Room Access, DMMs. It's an awesome deal. Come join us. We want to show you how to do it. Come into the trade room to supercharge your learning. That's the key. The key is to spend the time in the trade room. Don't just sign up and then email me 500 times. That's not going to work. Come into the trade room, okay? Let me show you. Let me hold your hand in the trade room, answer your questions, and let me show you how to make money trading news, earnings, because our members are doing it. I could show you another $1,000 trade. I'm not going to. I'm tired. Everybody I know this week had surgery. I got to go take care of some stuff. www.gotrade2024.com. Thank you, everybody. Um, I'll see everybody in the trade room next week. So we're going to do this more often. Streaming is fun, and I want to do it more. So I'll see it. I'll see everybody in the trade room. I hope you have a great weekend. And let me figure out how to stop the stream. Now, the thing to realize, obviously, is we'll get the equipment we need, and we'll do music, and we'll have interviews, and we'll make this a podcast also. It'll be a lot of fun. So as long as I live a couple of more years, we'll keep this going. All right, everyone. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next week.